Well, hey there everyone, and welcome back to Stuff in Excel. I'm Richard, and what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about simple data sorting. Often our data comes to us in a form that we really can't use, or we need the data in a different order in order to really analyze it, and simple data sorting is going to be a really helpful tool to us, so let's just get into it. Okay, so let's look at our data set. We've got a range of data. The first column is first name, second column is last name. Then we've got the region, and then we've got the amount of sales for each one of these people. So what we may want to do is sort this data. This data is not in any kind of recognizable order that we can tell, so we might want to go ahead and sort this data. Now the way we're going to do that is we're going to highlight what we want to sort, and let's highlight by last name. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all that range of last name. What we're going to do is use a tool built into Excel called Data Sort. So where we're going to find that is up on the top ribbon. We're going to find Data, and click on it, and then about in the middle we get Sort. So we're going to hit Sort. And it's going to give us a window here, and it's going to ask us, says, Microsoft Excel found data next to your selection. Since you have not selected this data, it will not be sorted. What do you want to do? Do you want to expand the selection, or do you want to continue with the current selection? So why is Excel asking me this question? It's because Excel has determined or has detected that there's additional information in the same contiguous range both to the left and to the right of this data that I've highlighted. So if I highlight just by last name, it's going to do something really weird. So let's select that. Let's say I'm going to continue with this current selection. I'm going to sort this, and I'm going to sort it just by last name. Now, because I only have one column highlighted, it's going to pick that. Now, a couple of things about this box. This box opens up, and it tells us we can add different levels for sorting. We'll see that in a minute. We can delete levels. We can copy a level. It has options over here, and over in the far right it says My Data Has Headers. So because I highlighted everything from B1 all the way down to B12, it's going to pick up all this data, including the header name, and I'm telling it that that item in the very first cell at the top of this column is my header name. So it's not going to sort header name. It's going to leave it where it is, but it's going to sort everything else. So when I sort, I want you to watch what happens. Now, I intentionally colored these because I want you to see what happens if I sort just by highlighting last name. So I'm now going to hit OK, and now look, we'll see what happens. I've got these things. Steve's no longer matched with Smith. Steve is now matched with last name Apple. All the last names changed, but nothing else moved. First name didn't move, region didn't move, sales didn't move. That's really not what I want, because what ended up happening was I didn't sort this. What I really want with this data, and let's back out of this, I want everything associated with Steve Smith to all be kept together. Everything with Yvonne Black, all to be kept together. Everything with Jacob Steiner, all to be kept together. So the way I need to do that is I need to highlight the entire range of data before I sort it. So I'm going to click up here on first name. I'm going to hit Control Home or Control End. And oops, let's go back and hit Control Shift End. And that will highlight my entire range. Now I can go do my data sort. I'm going to sort it by, now this time it didn't go automatically give me last name because it doesn't know which one of the columns I want to sort by. I want to sort by last name, so I'll select that, and I want to sort it in order from A to Z. Now watch what happens. It's going to keep all the yellows together, all the oranges together, all the blues together, all the green. It's going to keep it all together and shift all the rows, but it's sorting those rows by last name. So I click on that, and sure enough, that's what we get. So what we now see is we see this data here sorted by last name. But that may not be exactly what I want either. I may actually want to sort this because look at this. I've got Steve Smith and Bob Smith, but they're not really in alphabetical order, are they? Bob Smith should be before Steve Smith. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and I don't have to highlight the whole range a second time. It already knows what range I'm looking at. I'm going to hit Sort, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a level. I'm going to sort this also by first name. And when I do that, notice it picked up the whole range. It's going to also sort, once it sorts by last name, then for each last name it's going to sort by first name. And now it'll move Bob Smith and Steve Smith to put Bob Smith first, and there it did that. Okay, so I may want to do something else. I may want to sort, in addition, I may want to sort by region. So I can do that. Again, I click anywhere in the area because it already knows what range I'm looking at. I'm going to say sort, and I'm going to add another level. This time I'm going to add region to this. For some reason it puts it in the middle. I don't know why. Let's just delete that, and let's add it again. And now it puts it at the end. So you have to pay attention to that. So if we do it by region, I'm going to sort this. Is that really what I want? Well, I don't know. It didn't really give me anything, right? It didn't really sort that the way I wanted to. It sorted by last name, then first name, and didn't really sort by region, did it? It did for the names, but that's not really what I want to do is put everybody in a region and then sort them by last name. So I've got my sorts in the wrong order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to click on region. Now I'm going to go up here on my box, and if you look at my at this dialog window, one of the options over there has got this up arrow. And I've highlighted region. I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to move it up. Now region is first. Now when I sort, it's going to first put the regions, these regions will be region 1, region 2, region 3. Then within each region, it will sort them by last name and first name. And sure enough, there it is. And then I can do one other thing to this. Maybe I really, within each region, I want it sorted by total sales. So I'm going to go back to my sort filter. Now I'm going to add. See, it gave me that, but it adds it right after region. So that's, in this case, that's okay. But remember, I can get rid of that. I'm going to select sales, and I really want to get rid of first name and last name because I want to know just by order of. I want to know for each region what are the sales in order for my top salespeople. So I'll delete this one, and now I'll go in and I'll delete first name also. So now I'm just sorting by region and sales. Hit OK. Now what I got all of region 1 from lowest sales to highest sales. All of region 2 from lowest sales to highest sales. All of region 3 from lowest sales to highest sales. So I've been able to resort this data in a way that's very useful to me if I want to know who's the top salesman, for example, in each region. Now I may decide that I'd rather have it go from smallest to largest. I'll have it go from largest to smallest. So one last sort. I can go back in, and when I do sort by sales within each region, I'm going to do largest to smallest. Now I'll hit OK. Now I know I can tell region 1, my top salesperson is Jacob Steiner. In region 2, my top salesperson is Richard Sampson. And in region 3, my top salesperson is Valerie Apple. So I've now sorted my data in a way that's going to be very, very useful to me. So this sort tool is going to be a useful tool for getting the data in the order that you want it in so that you can read it and understand it better.